Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
A beautiful day has turned into a nice night for baseball here in the Motor City. Welcome to Comerica Park. The Angels are in town. Game one of this three-game weekend series featuring the Tigers and the Los Angeles Angels. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen. We are glad to have you with us here for game one in this series. The Indians, well, the Tigers split with them. Now the Halos come to town. You know what that means, Rod? Two of the best players in the game will square off. We'll start with Miguel Cabrera. A bit of a slow start, but he's showing some signs now.
Well, Miggy's going to be fine. Last couple of days, he's taken some major steps in getting back to the Miguel Cabrera of the last couple of years where he has won the MVP. We know what Miguel does on a nightly basis. He is one of the best hitter, if not the best hitter in the game as we speak. He drives the ball to all fields. He has massive power. He has outstanding career numbers against the American League West and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Looking forward to watching Miguel go out here today and also go up against somebody else on the other side. It's a pretty good player.
He is indeed. Now, Miguel has won back-to-back MVPs, but the guy on his tail both of the last two seasons, Mike Trout, maybe the best overall player in the game.
He is the most electrifying player in the game. He already has 3 home runs in the very first inning. He has done that 16 times in the last 2 years, which paces the majors. So he gets the Halos on the board first. 324 batting average in his first couple of years in the big leagues, 83 steals. He is a fearless baseball player. He's an outstanding defender. He's a great kid. The Angels are going to have him in their uniform for a long, long time. They gave him a nice, long $144 million contract. So looking forward to this ball game tonight.
I don't know if you know this, but the Angels beat the Tigers 9 straight times. Time to bring that to an end. The guy to do it is Drew Smiley. He will make his first start of 2014. When we come back, we'll talk of the Tigers lefty next. Brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Jeep. Come to Jeep Awards season event today for great deals on award-winning Jeep brand SUVs. And by Kellogg's Pop-Tarts, the best to you each morning. Tonight at Comerica Park, Drew Smyly, Rod, will get his first start of 2014, and hopefully it'll be a good one for the lefty.
Well, he got stretched out to 47 pitches. The problem with that, it was back on April 9th when the ball club was on that West Coast swing in Los Angeles. They will stick with Drew as long as they feel like he is pitching well. Then they'll have to go to their bullpen. But they're going to need some bullpen help this evening.
All right, settle in. Tigers and Angels coming up. Lineups, first pitch from Comerica Park in downtown Detroit. That's coming up next. Baseball here this evening. Drew Smyly will take the hill for the Tigers, and the numbers on Drew presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Tigers cleared a spot for Drew Smyly in their rotation when they traded Doug Fister to the Washington Nationals. However, he is making his first start of the year after pitching a couple of times out of the bullpen, once against the Baltimore Orioles and one other outing against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
So on a nice night for baseball here in the Motor City, the Tigers and Angels square off for the first time here this season. And Colin Cowgill will lead things off for the Halos. The first pitch from Smyly is a strike. Cowgill, Trout, and Pujols in the first inning for Los Angeles. The Angels check in tonight at 7-8. Tigers in first place in the Central, 7-5. Cowgill looks at a ball high, and the count evens now 1-1.
Smyly has a fastball that will get all the way up to 95. That's his four-seam fastball. He'll also cut it right around 80 to 91. He's got a nice curveball and a real good changeup.
That's it for a strike. Quickly 1-2 now on the Angels leadoff man.
Drew did not use his changeup all that often last year because he was pitching very late in games, so he went with two pitches. That was the fastball and the breaking ball, but they've encouraged him to throw more changeups as a starter.
Now the 1-2. Lifted in the air. Shallow right field. Kinsler back, Hunter in. Torrey will make the catch. That's how we start this one here tonight. The starting lineup for the Angels presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Cowgill. Trout coming up next, then Pujols and Kendrick. Chris Iannetta, the catcher. Ibar is at short. J.B. Shuck, John McDonald, and Ian Stewart rounding out the lineup for the Halos. Now here is Mike Trout. Well, Mike Trout, as we know, one of the best players in the game, off to another good start here for the Angels. And he looks at a strike 0-1.
Speaking of good starts, he usually gets them off to a real good start in the first inning. 16 home runs in the first inning since the beginning of last year, which is the most in the majors for their very talented center fielder.
Trout can hit with power, hit for average, steal bases.
He's already done it 3 times this year. 3 of his 5 homers have come in the very first inning.
Here's the 1-1 offering. Fouled straight back, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, let's see. The Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher-batter matchup, and the Bernstein advantage here for Drew Smyly. Mike Trout is just 1 for 6 against him with a strikeout.
And that last foul tip must have went off the home plate umpire, Jerry Davis. Avila out talking to Drew Smyly, giving Davis a little time to gather himself.
One ball, 2 strikes. Without Josh Hamilton, he's on the DL right now. Driven down the left field line. That ball will get down, go up against the fence. Trout is on his way to second base, and he will pull in with a 1-out double.
That's what makes young Mike Trout so dangerous. Drew Smyly able to get ahead of him, but he laid off 1 ball upstairs. He came back downstairs with a breaking ball, and look where Trout went down to get this ball. And not only did he go down and get that breaking ball, but he was able to keep it fair. That ball whistling off the left field gate.
So the Angels quickly have a 2-base hit in their first scoring opportunity of the night. Mike Trout is aboard for Albert Pujols, who is 4 home runs shy now for 400, and is making 500 in his career. He's got 496, so a milestone coming up for Albert. And that drops in for a strike, 0-1.
Albert off to a pretty good start in the 2014 season. Already 4 homers and 10 driven in. And this is after only playing in 99 games last year.
Well, the Angels are certainly ecstatic to see that. A couple of years ago, got off to a slow start in his first year with the Angels. He pops this one out. Third base side, Kelly coming over, still coming toward the on-deck circle, but back out of play. Last year was the plantar fasciitis for Pujols, which interrupted his season. But without question, one of the game's best. And boy, the numbers he has put up in his career, amazing. And as we mentioned, going for 500 home runs. Oh, and 2 the count on Pujols, just underway here at the ballpark. And the 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Angels had a late change to their lineup. David Freese was to play third base tonight. He is a late scratch. There's Trout at second with a 1-out 2-base hit. Runner goes. No throw to third base. Boy, that was a close pitch, too. Stolen base for Mike Trout.
That is now the 15th steal of third base for Mike Trout in 16 attempts. And usually you will not run when you have a guy that's standing in the batter's box that is so proficient in driving in runs as Albert Pujols is. But you know you can make it, and that's the reason why Trout took that base.
Infield in for the Tigers, and that's skied in the air down the left field line. Davis coming over toward the line. Foul ground, can't get it. This is something, Rod, we have seen a lot of, and Brad Ausmus not afraid to pull the infield in the first inning.
Well, he does not want to give the other team any runs, any give-me runs. You know, the Angels really have not had a difficult time of scoring runs in the first inning. They've scored 18 first-inning runs, which is the most in the majors.
Trying to prevent one here with Trout at third base. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Pujols is down on strikes, and the first strikeout of the ball game for Drew.
Let's take a look at the Tigers' starting defensive alignment. It is always presented by Beaumont Health System. You've got Davis, Jackson, Hunter in the outfield. You have Don Kelly, 26 starts at third base since the beginning of the 2012 season, and he hasn't made an error at that position. Romine, Kinsler up the middle, Miggy anchored over at first, and Alex Avila is the catcher.
So with 2 outs here is Howie Kendrick. Infield back now for the Tigers. And Kendrick takes ball 1 outside.
Outstanding pitch to strike out Pujols. I believe it was a changeup, but great arm action, and you don't see Pujols get this fooled this much. I mean, he's clearly out in front of that real good changeup thrown by Smiley.
The 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes on their cleanup man, Howie Kendrick.
And Howie Kendrick likes to hit the ball into right center field. That's why Austin Jackson is over on the second base side in the outfield. You can see where he is at. Now, Torrey Hunter also pinching that gap. That's where Howie Kendrick likes to hit a lot of his balls.
Now the 2-0. Bouncing ball to short. 2 steps to his right, Romine. And the threat is over. No runs. They get a double. Leaving man at third. And here come the Tigers in the bottom of the first. The Park, Angels failed to score in the top of the first inning. And as we check out the game's conditions tonight, presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company, 53 degrees our game time temp here at the ballpark tonight. Dry, cool, and clear. It was a little bit rainy early today, but that has moved out of the area. Clear skies for tonight's ball game. Ian Kinsler will lead things off for the Tigers. Their starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. You've got Kinsler, Hunter, Cabrera in your top 3 spots. Victor is the DH cleaning up, followed by Jackson and Don Kelly at third tonight. Avila, Romine, and Rajai Davis rounded out for the Detroit Tigers. They're facing Jared Weaver as Kinsler stands in, and it has been a really good start for Ian Kinsler. 7 multi-hit games already this season, which is among the best in the American League. And the veteran right-hander Jared Weaver goes to work, and Kinsler looks at strike 1. Ian batting .327. He sits safely in his last 4. And a nice series against Cleveland. Bender is in for a strike. 0-2 on Kinsler. Weaver is 31 years of age. He hails from Northridge, California. In on his hands that time and rolled to third base where Stewart has it. 1 gone. Here are the numbers on Jared Weaver.
And Jared Weaver said that he feels better this year than he has the last couple of years, but the velocity of the fastball is down to about 89 miles an hour. He pitches right around 86. Also has a nice fastball, cutter, slider, and a changeup. But command has also been an issue this year for Weaver as well. He's walked 7 in his first few starts.
Torrey Hunter stands in. From 2008 to 2012, he was an Angel, and he was renewing acquaintances before the game today. Of course, even if you haven't played with Torrey Hunter as a teammate, he's one of the guys that is most well respected in the major leagues. Weaver's 1-0 is popped up right side of the infield, and McDonald will go to the grass to make the catch.
Let's take a look at the Angels starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. In the outfield, they have Shuck, Trout, and Calgill. In the infield are the Stewart, Ibar, McDonald, Pujols, and Iannetta is their catcher.
Mike Trout in his familiar center field position. He's been known to climb a wall or two to bring a home run back. Here is Cabrera. Weaver laid that first one in a little bit on the inside part of the plate and is fouled back.
And it looked like Weaver coming out today trying to establish his fastball. He jammed Kinsler. He also jammed Hunter in that first pitch fastball to Miguel Cabrera. He got in on Miggy as well.
Miggy's birthday today, so happy birthday to Cabrera, who, by the way, hits .444 on his birthday. And he's got a look now at Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire, who just signaled strike 2. Weaver now with the 0-2. Back out of play. This will be a fun series. I mean, there are some really good hitters in this series. We've talked about Pujols going for 500 home runs, Miggy and Trout. There is Albert. Weaver again with the 0-2. Another foul, back out of play. Jared Weaver last year was 11-8 with a 3.27 ERA, made 24 starts. He has had a really good career for the Angels, has spent his entire career with the Angels. Off to a sluggish start, though, in 2014. 1-2. The career numbers on Weaver: 113 and 62 is his record, with a very good ERA. His winning percentage, in fact, best in Angels history for a pitcher. Bends one outside, bouncing in 2-2. Here's a Miggy fan. You'll find quite a few of those jerseys cruising around Comerica Park.
They are very popular these days.
Another foul, back out of play. It's a pretty good battle now brewing between Jared Weaver and Miguel Cabrera. Waiting on deck, Victor Martinez. Fly ball. Right center field, not deep. Trout coming over. So is the right fielder Calgill, who hauls it in. Then it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jared Weaver. and the Angels. Our predictions for tonight's Fox Sports Detroit Player of the Game, presented by the McDonald's new Bacon Clubhouse Burger, are I've got Victor Martinez tonight.
I got Torrey. He's going up against his former club. A lot of times players do well when they go up against their former teammates.
And Mickey York checks in with today's starter, Drew Smiley. Those are our picks. See final results in Tigers Live postgame. Smiley goes back to work here in the second. Chris Iannetta stands in and looks at ball one.
And big walk-off home run for Iannetta just a couple of days ago against the Oakland Athletics in extra innings for his ball club.
On the outer edge, a strike called, 1-1. That was in the bottom of the 12th inning on Wednesday. He's had 5 RBIs in his last 4 games. There's a strike.
And Drew Smiley has been dropping that breaking ball in there very nicely against these right-handed batters.
Iannetta takes one a little bit outside, 2-2. He is not afraid of taking a walk. In fact, he led all major league catchers last year with 68 walks. And now he's run the count full at 3-2. Keep an eye on how long Smiley can go tonight. Obviously been pitching out of the bullpen. The rainouts and the days off have pushed Smiley's first start back. Came out of spring camp as the number 5 starter for the Tigers.
Been very impressed with Drew Smiley since he put that Tigers uniform on 3 years ago. Nothing that Jim Leland threw at him fazed him. Nothing that Brad Ausmus so far has fazed him. He got through spring training no problem. First couple of outings this year in relief.
And there's another walk for Iannetta, who leads off the second with a base on balls. Well, guess what's back tonight? Our special slow-mo camera called Phantom Cam is at low first base tonight. Shoots up to 2,500 frames per second. Our other cameras all shoot at 30 frames per second. Here is Mike Trout's hit in Phantom Cam.
And look at the weight shift to the front side, and then look at him lead with the bat knob to keep that ball fair. That was a breaking ball down and in.
Ball outside to Eric Ibar. Trout doubled in the first, stole third, but it was stranded there. It took until May 19th last year to get 6 RBIs for Ibar. He's got that already this year. Here's the 1-0. Smiley missed it a tad high. 2 balls and no strikes. Leadoff walk by Iannetta. And there's a strike in the outer edge. Ibar on Sunday hit his 40th career triple, which is 3rd all time in Angels history. Now the 2-1. Fouled off at home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ibar. Ibar has been an Angel for a while now. This is his 9th season wearing an Angels uniform. J.B. Shuck waits on deck. Lifted back out of play. 2-2 the count stays. Talked about this earlier, but it's been a lopsided series between these two teams. The Halos have won 9 straight against Detroit, and in that span they've hit and outscored the Tigers, I should say, 58-22.
Which seems kind of odd to me. I know those are the absolute facts, but some of the offensive clubs the Tigers have had the last number of years, along with their pitching staff, it's 9 in a row. I mean, that's just domination.
Surprising.
There's always that one team that has your number. 15th season as a manager for the Los Angeles Angels. Longest tenured manager in the game as we speak. 15 years. That's longevity.
It is, especially these days. It may not have been a long time ago, but these days it is. One ball club.
He has a contract that runs through the 2018 season as well.
It is good to have security.
You know it. He's a great manager, though. He's been a really good manager for a long, long time, and he was a really good player, too.
Runner going, and it's fouled back out of play.
It's a good thing that was fouled off by Ibar, because that was a pretty good jump there by Iannetta.
Finishing up on Socia, there really have been a handful of managers that have guided the same team for 15 straight seasons. Guys like Bobby Cox, Sparky Anderson, Walter Alston. Those are some of the names on that list. 2-2 the count on Eric Ibar. And he takes it low now, 3-2. Still nobody out here in the second. Leadoff walk for Iannetta. Ibar trying to break out of it a bit. Only 4 for his last 21. Runner holds on 3-2. Base hit right field. Right by Cabrera. Iannetta is on his way to third. He is in standing up, and the Angels are in business here in the second. Walking a single.
That is something that the Angels, since Socia has been their manager, they are an outstanding club going first to third. They couldn't have drawn that one up any better.
Here's J.B. Shuck, who tore apart Tigers pitching last year. 467 in 15 at bats. 7 hits, and now Smiley in a jam here in the second. Ibar draws the throw. Angels for years have had the reputation of being a club that will run. Ibar used to steal more than he has in recent history. Stole as many as 30 in a season with the Angels. Well, Smiley will keep an eye on him.
One of the things that Smiley has done the last couple of spring trainings, he has worked with Kenny Rogers, the former Tiger, on improving his pickoff move and making sure that he keeps the base runners close at first base and keeps his double plays in order.
1-0 on Shuck. The Smiley's pitch count starting to run up a little bit here, which is not exactly what Brad Ausmus wanted to see. There's his breakdown, 20 against 15.
That's why the Tigers are carrying 13 pitchers on their roster as we speak. In the last couple of days, Sanchez and also Verlander against the Indians only pitched 5 innings. Therefore, Brad Ausmus had to dip into that bullpen early and often.
Tyler Collins sent down today. Was optioned to AAA. That is fouled back out of play. Here's that move today the Tigers made. Justin Miller coming up from Toledo. His number's pretty good in the early going at Toledo.
Well, they really liked him. I remember the assistant general manager, Al Avila, who brought him over to the Tigers, really liked what he did last year. They felt like he would help this Tigers team at some point in time this season, and he finds himself in the big leagues just 2 weeks in. Tyler Collins, he just needed to play. We talked about Tyler Collins, I think it was just a couple of days ago, the fact that you leave spring training, you're playing every single day, you had to fight to make the team, you make the team, then you get to the big leagues and you have to sit. And there are a lot of players that are used to playing every single day. They just don't handle that role very successfully. Not that he won't in the future, but he needed to play.
Bouncing ball hit to the right side. Kinsler fires to second one. There's going to be no relay. Way too much speed for Shuck as he motors down the line. Fielder's choice RBI, and the Angels take a 1-0 lead. 5th RBI of the season for J.B. Shuck.
It's a wise decision by Andrew Romine, the former Angel, just to eat that baseball, knowing that Shuck does have good speed and they weren't going to turn a double play there.
So Iannetta, who led off the inning with a walk, comes around to score. Here is the veteran John McDonald, the well-traveled John McDonald, including a stop here in Detroit back in the 2005 season.
Half glove, will travel. John McDonald, since he has been in the big leagues, has been known as an artist with that glove on his hand. He's an outstanding defensive player.
He came to camp this year with the Angels as a non-roster invitee and made the team. And now McDonald, at 39 years of age, is still contributing. Versatile infielder. Johnny Mack really didn't spend too much time here in Detroit, part of the 2005 season. Here are the career numbers on McDonald. 237 lifetime, but as Rod mentioned, more known for his glove and his value to a ball club, his defensive ability. Smiley continues to pay close attention to Angels base runners. McDonald has hit safely in his last 4. Two 2-0 the count on John McDonald. Drew a couple of years ago in 2012 was 4-3 as a starter. 3.99 ERA. Made mostly starts that year, and then of course last year pitching out of the bullpen. I thought you brought up a real good point, Ron. I mean, Jim Leyland threw literally every different role at him last year, and he sparkled in every single one of them.
He started out as the long guy because they wanted to keep him kind of stretched out, and if any of the starters got in trouble, there was Smiley to give them 3-4 innings. Then late in the year, when some of the other back end pieces started to struggle in that bullpen, it was Smiley that was getting the ball late in very pressured situations, and he handled it with ease.
76 innings out of the bullpen last year, 6th best in the American League among relievers. And as a reliever, Drew has an ERA of 2.5, so his talent's now being utilized in the rotation. Fly ball left field. Routine for Rajai Davis. McDonald is up, and there are 2 gone. Hey, by the way, the Detroit Tigers season tickets, you can buy them now, get guaranteed lowest price for all of the action at Comerica Park, plus other great benefits. Here is the phone number, 313-471-BALL, or check it out online at tigers.com. Buy your Detroit Tigers season tickets. 2 gone now for Ian Stewart. Late addition to the lineup at third base for the Angels. David Freese, who they acquired in a trade in the offseason, was to start, but a stiff back has taken him out of the lineup. Stewart batting .176. In for a strike, 1-1. What do you got on this beard here, Rod? What do you think?
It's kind of thick. Out in Los Angeles, it's going to get kind of hot in the summertime if he's got that much hair on his face.
I never thought of that angle. That's true. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss.
Starting to see more and more guys around the league, though, with a lot of hair on their face.
Or none in the case of Drew Smiley.
Smiley probably doesn't even shave yet.
Maybe not. 1-2. Just off the plate. Drew stayed away.
Angels doing a real nice job here tonight of getting that pitch count up. Of Smiley's up to 47 here, and he does not, and he hasn't gotten out of the second inning.
Cal Gill waiting on deck. Fouled off the mask of Avila. The inning started with a walk, then a single by Ibar, and a fielder's choice ground ball by Shuck scored the run. Angels are trying to get back up to 500. They are 7-8. 30 pitches this inning now for Drew Smyly. Stewart waiting on a 2-2 offering. And he fouls it off. Just got a piece to stay alive. So the half inning continues for Smyly. Stewart was also a non-roster invitee for the spring. Made the club out of camp. Ooh, driven deep to center field. Jackson is on the run, still going back. AJ won't get it up against the wall. That'll get another run in. Third base goes Stewart, standing up with a triple, and the Angels have a 2-0 lead. Ian Stewart crushed that ball, and he hit it to right center to make it 2-zip.
Left-handers last year were no problem for Drew Smyly. Their batting average was sub 200, but that was a ball that was up in the strike zone. And if Jackson can't run it down in spacious Comerica Park, no one can run it down. That ball was absolutely smashed by Stewart.
So the former Rocky and Cub has his second triple of the year, and the Angels lead by 2 now. And here's the top of the lineup, Colin Cowgill. And the pitch count continues to elevate. 51 now for Drew Smyly. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-1 on Colin Cowgill. Fly to right field back in the first inning. Oh, that one got Avila. Enough to buckle him. 1-2. Alex already has taken a couple of foul tips in this game.
That last one got him pretty good. On the right arm.
No protection. Smyly ahead of the count, 1-2 on Cowgill. Ball high, 2-2. 2 runs on 3 hits in this game for the Angels. Now the count fills 3-2 with Trout waiting on deck. Well, there you go. 37 pitch second inning, which has jumped the pitch count up to 55 for Smyly. There's Trout waiting his turn on deck. He already has the uniform dirty. 3-2 pitch outside, lost him. That'll be the second walk in the inning now for Smyly.
And Jeff Jones going to have to go out and visit with Drew Smyly.
Not the best of situations here when you consider Smyly now needs a blow as the pitching coach comes out. Now you got to deal with Trout.
In Smiley's defense, the last time he threw in a big league game was on April 9th against the Los Angeles Dodgers. So he has not pitched in the last couple of series against San Diego or the Cleveland Indians. So he just looks a little off to me today. He hasn't found that consistent arm slot, which Smyly usually always has, which allows him to throw really good, well-located strikes.
So after a brief respite, here comes Trout, who had a double and a stolen base but did not score in the first inning. Signed that 6-year extension back in late March, right at the end of spring training, March 28th. Ball one from Smiley. Trout has led the American League in runs scored each of the last 2 seasons. He walked 110 times last year.
Yeah, he cut down the strikeouts, and his walks were increased. Really starting to mature as a great baseball player, an all-around player. He can do everything on the baseball field.
1 ball, 1 strike. He was just about top 5, actually top 3 in many of the offensive categories since getting to the big leagues at a real young age a couple of years ago. Swing and a miss there. 1-2.
If you think about it, this time a couple of years ago, Mike Trout was still in the minor leagues. He didn't really come up until the end of April a couple of years ago.
Trout got to the big leagues at age 19 back in 2011. And Smiley missing high and away. 2-2. At this rate, the Tigers will have to get into that bullpen a lot sooner than they had hoped or anticipated tonight. And there's a total of 60 now for Drew. Popped up foul, back out of play. Look at the names on this list, Rod.
DiMaggio, Williams, Garcia-Parra, Pujols, and Trout.
First 2 full seasons in Major League history of hitting .310 or better, 50 or more homers, 200 or more RBIs. Big time names. Smiley, the Tigers minor league pitcher of the year in 2011, got to the big leagues in 2012. Two and two, the count stays on Trout. Well, we've seen Sanchez's pitch count elevated in each of his last 2 starts. It happened to Verlander as well in that Cleveland series.
If he's going to get Trout out, he's got to probably throw that changeup fading away from him. He better get it down. And Trout is a really good hitter, doesn't strike out all that often.
Well, down he goes. Got him that time. Trout strikes out. Inning is over. 45 pitch inning. Gorgeous night for baseball here in the Motor City. 2-0 Halos. is brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's 2 for $5 mix and match deal today. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Well, it was a gorgeous afternoon here in the Motor City. Really heated up, warmed up. Today's turned into a nice night. Angels on top 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. And for the Tigers facing Jared Weaver, it'll be Victor Martinez, Austin Jackson, and then Don Kelly. Tigers went 1-2-3 against Weaver in the first. And Victor looks at a ball, 1-0. Martinez sits safely in his last 3. Was 3 out of 6 in that Cleveland series. Lifted high in the air and fouled down the third base line, and may stay in play, and it does. Up to the railing goes Stewart to make the catch.
That's a nice job by Ian Stewart, the third baseman, for a guy that does not play in this ballpark all that often. He got over there, and then you've got the wall, and you've got the fans. Fans didn't get in his way, and he's able to make a nice grab over there.
Stayed with it all the way. Here's Austin Jackson. One sails inside, 1-0 on Jackson. In for a strike, up with the right hand goes Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire tonight.
Where Weaver's landing foot lands on the mound, which would be the left foot, he is really throwing across his body, but no longer does he throw 97 miles an hour like he used to when he first came up.
That's in the shallow right field and caught there by Cowgill.
He is right around 89 miles an hour with his fastball these days.
If the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fry.
They've got a pretty good shot at hitting a couple today. Weaver's already given up 5 home runs this year.
Here's Don Kelly with 2 outs. Weaver is 3-4 lifetime against Detroit, and his ERA is just a little bit under 5, 4.97.
And here's where Weaver will throw you a changeup or a breaking ball, usually when he falls behind in the count. He will not challenge you all that often with 1-0, 2-0 fastballs. Changeup at 81.
Weaver now 31 years old. Little high, 2-1. Well, he joined Nolan Ryan and Chuck Finley as the only 2 Angels to win 10 more games in the 8 straight seasons. That is lifted in the air. Down the right field line, heading back toward the seats, and out of play. Actually, he and Ryan were the only 2 Angels to do that. And only Finley and Ryan have won more games in a Halos uniform, so his years are starting to pile up now, and so are the stats. Former first-round pick, and the brother of former Tiger Jeff Weaver. Kelly trying to get something going here in the second. Here's the 2-2. 3-2 now on Don. Alex Avila waiting on deck. Brad Ausmus wanted the left-handed bat in there against Weaver, sitting Castellanos tonight. 3-2 pitch. Outside, base on balls. That's a start. Tigers have their first base runner of the night. And that'll bring up Alex Avila. Alex, it appears, Rod, is swinging the bat a little bit better in that Cleveland series. Saw him put together some pretty good bats.
He got himself in some really good counts. 2-1 counts, 1-0 counts, and those are usually predictable fastball counts. And when he got those pitches, he didn't miss them. It was good to see.
Swing and a miss. Angels employing that big shift. McDonald goes to the grass. Here's the 0-1. Ooh, Bender that drops in
at 68 miles an hour.
I think barely made it to the plate.
And the key to this pitch is it's the same arm speed as the fastball, but as you can see, and by the way that the wrist is turned, just kind of flips it up there.
Oh, 2 out of Vila. Swing and a miss. Carved him up. Weaver has his first strikeout. Tigers get a 2-out walk, leave a man. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Nothing as we go to the top of the third now at the ballpark, and it's now time to tweet your photo using hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in our broadcast later in the game. It is brought to you by AT&T. Hashtag Detroit Fan Photo.
Those fans right there look like they're having a lot of fun.
That they are, and that's the point. They should pull out the camera and tweet some of their own photos there. Might get selected tonight. Here is Albert Pujols to lead it off. Well, it was a very lengthy inning for Smiley. He needs a very quick inning here in the third. Pujols, Kendrick, and Iannetta 3, 4, and 5 for the Angels. They got their 2 runs in the second. Swing and a miss. Albert, 30 or more home runs in each of his first 12 seasons. The only player in major leagues to ever do that. We'll pull that one down the left field line.
I saw Albert Pujols' first career home run. I was broadcasting for the Arizona Diamondbacks. It was in 1998. His first career homer. He is looking at 500 now.
Yanked fair inside the bag at third base. That'll rattle off the barrier down there. Pujols motoring towards second, and he will pull in. So Albert has a double, his first hit tonight. And the Angels threatening again.
Here's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. One of the things that you have to do against Pujols is you have to change from at bat to at bat is how you pitch him. His numbers against the Tigers in his career are outstanding. He hits one foul, and then Smiley comes back with a breaking ball fastball inside that he turns on past the diving Don Kelly.
Kendrick looks at a strike. Angels now have 4 hits.
Tailor-made situation for Howie Kendrick. He'll be trying to hit something through the right side of the infield between Miguel and Ian Kinsler. And that's really the way that his swing is tailored. He loves to go in that direction. And he does it very well.
Oh, 2. So the season's starting to pile up as well for Kendrick in his 9th year in the Halos uniform. Missed 34 games last year with the knee problem. How he still hit 13 homers, knocked in 54. And really, ever since getting to the big leagues, has been a solid major league hitter. The 0-2 is a check swing foul. Angels have played a lot of tight games. In fact, 4 of their last 8 losses have come in the opponent's last at bat. Some tough losses in there. Again, the 0-2. 1-2 now on Howie Kendrick. Angels themselves have had to deal with some injuries. It's Brennan Bosch, former Tiger. Talked about Pujols and the plantar fasciitis, which has dogged him. And of course, Josh Hamilton is out with torn ligaments in his thumb. He had surgery. That's a sizable bat out of their lineup. And the 2-2. Driven to right field. Hit pretty well. Back goes Torrey. Track, wall that's going to carry out and gone. An opposite field home run for Howie Kendrick. 2 more in for the Angels.
Very unselfish at bat for Howie Kendrick. We told you that he loves to hit the ball into that direction. With a runner on second base and nobody out, his entire at bat he was trying to hit something that way. Smiley threw him a ball up in the zone, and there's some wind up there blowing out toward right field. Howie able to reach the seats.
On Phantom Cam, Kendrick hits a 2-run homer the other way. The Angels leading the major leagues in home runs. 25 now for the Halos. Kendrick has hit his first of the year. Iannetta got it started back in the 2nd with a walk. The 1-0 is hammered to left field. That ball is down the line. Davis is running over. Rajay can't get it. It'll bounce off the top of the wall and a 2-base hit for Chris Iannetta. 3 extra base hits to start this 3rd inning, and the Tigers bullpen starts to work. It will be the 6th hit already now for the Angels.
And Drew Smiley just not really sharp here today. His command is just not all that good, but give the Angels some credit. Who came in with a lot of confidence from an offensive standpoint. They've been swinging the sticks well this year.
Luke Peconin is warming up. Ball low to Eric Ivar. So 76 pitches now for Smiley. He has not recorded an out yet here in the 3rd. And down 4-0. Driven down the left field line. That ball is going to hook.
Before Drew Smiley left Lakeland, Florida at the end of spring training, he threw at least 100 pitches in one game. That's where most managers like to have their starters throw at least 100 that final start of spring training. But the last couple of weeks, no starts. And we told you on the 9th of this month he threw just 47 pitches against the Los Angeles Dodgers. So he's not stretched out very far. They will not stick with him much longer.
Yeah, he's knocking on the door now of 80 pitches. That's number 78. So they really can't go much longer. Three innings against Baltimore, 3 against the Dodgers. In spring camp, he was 2-1 with a 3.8 ERA. Made 6 starts. Soft line drive, caught by Kinsler. They'll get the double play at second base. Iannetta never looked back. He was on his way to third.
Really nowhere for Iannetta to go there because you're already in scoring position. What you have to do is let the hitter do their job, but he didn't know where Kinsler was playing. Therefore, Kinsler able to get there and snare the line drive, and Iannetta was trying to score like that ball was up the middle. That's a break.
Oh, boy, is it. It stops the bleeding for the time being, at least. And now the bases are empty with 2 outs for J.B. Shuck. Strike 1 to Shuck. Fielder's choice ground ball scored a run in his first at bat. JB had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah, there was a time where he was getting some consideration for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he finished 5th in that voting. Now the 1-1. Bouncing ball to second, and right there is Ian Kinsler. So that'll end the inning. They get a couple of runs, though. Howie Kendrick goes the other way into the seats and right. It's now a 4-0 game. Tigers, and of course he started this season. In fact, his entire career was with the Angels, and they dealt Jose Alvarez, who today was sent down by the Angels. But here are the particulars in that trade.
Alvarez pitched okay last year for the Tigers, although he lost 5 games. He came up in a situation where he pitched okay initially, did pitch well down the stretch, but they needed another pitcher, and the Tigers desperately needed a shortstop.
So Romine gets in there tonight. He gets a chance to play. Brad Ausmus saying that although Gonzalez has seen the majority of the time at short, Andrew needed to get a game in there. He's 1 for 12 this year. And he pulls this one into right field. Base hit. So the former Angel is aboard with a leadoff single. See if the Tigers now can get something going. That is their first hit of this ball game. It's going to bring up Rajai Davis, who has been swinging it. In fact, he's hit safely in 8 of his last 9. A couple of hits in that series against the Indians. .333 for Rajai.
If the first 2 games of the year that the Tigers have played against the Indians are a sign of things to come, it's going to be very, very tough when they play the Indians group this year.
Well, yeah, those first 2 games, I'll tell you what, they were grinders, weren't they?
They're hitters. I mean, they really grinded out some great at-bats against Justin, Anibal Sanchez. Tigers bullpen did a nice work against them, but they grinded out some at-bats, and they got into the Tigers bullpen in the 6th inning on both days.
The 0-1. Rajai sends a ground ball to third. Backhanded there by Stewart. They'll get 1 at second, and that's it. Romine forced at second base. 1 gone. Now Ian Kinsler.
Well, speed is part of Rajai's game, and even though the Tigers are trailing by 4 here in the 3rd inning, it shouldn't slow Rajai down.
Brad Ausmus hinted before the game today that Rajai may lead off tomorrow. The Tigers facing a lefty tomorrow in C.J. Wilson. In fact, the Tigers will see a left-hander in 5 of the next 6 days. We've got Wilson and Santiago in the next 2 games in this series. Kinsler bounced out 5-3.
White Sox had a rotation full of left-handers last year.
They did. See that game Chris Sale pitched last night?
I did not see the game that he pitched last night, but I watched a little bit of his game. Actually, I did see some of that. He took a no-hitter into the 5th or 6th.
6th inning. He allowed only 1 hit before he departed the game.
He is nasty with a capital N. Tigers will miss him. No problem there. Maybe not. It's a 4-game series.
It's a 4-gamer, yeah. They'll see him.
Shucks.
Quick throw, and they almost got him. Davis gets back in. I don't think I've ever heard you use the word shucks. Ever.
Well, if you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best. And Chris Sale is one of the best left-handed pitchers in our game.
Weaver for a while was one of the best, and certainly his resume is deep, although he's gone off to a slow start this year. 3-time All-Star, won 20 games a couple of years ago.
He just pitches differently now. He does not have the mid-90s fastball any longer, but he still has tremendous mound presence. He still has the secondary pitches that he can throw for strikes in fastball counts. He's a fierce competitor. You don't have to throw 95 to still be a big winner in this game.
2-0.
Told you earlier, Weaver also said he feels better this year than he has the last couple of years. Shoulder feels strong, but he doesn't have the great command as of yet with his fastball.
Weaver is part of a really cool list. I think this is worth mentioning. He is just one of 4 guys that has won 100 games while playing his entire career with one team, and Justin Verlander is on that list as well. Verlander, Weaver, King Felix, and John Lester have all won 100 games in the big leagues and have all stayed with one organization. Another throwback. Since 2006, here are the actives and most victories. Verlander tops that list. CC right behind him, then Weaver. Lifted in the air. Not deep at all. Trout. And it's the right fielder, Cowgill.
I don't think Trout saw that ball when it went up initially. He put both hands up to indicate to Cowgill that he didn't see it, and that's why Cowgill went all the way over to the center field to make the play. That's a nice job there by Trout.
There's Torrey now with 2 outs.
Torrey Hunter was out taking some extra batting practice today. Obviously, he hasn't felt all that comfortable the last few days.
Torrey said today he's up to 89.3%. That's how good he feels.
That knee?
Yeah. He breaks it down to decimals. How you feeling today, Torrey? About 89.3%.
He is just a joy to be around.
Let's see. He is. Have you ever seen him with a frown on his face?
I have never seen Torrey with a frown on his face.
Which is something, because this game can put a frown on your face every now and then.
It is a very humbling game.
Here's the 1-0. There goes Rajay. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second. Dives in safely. Davis with a swipe. Well, we had a chance to check in with Shannon Hogan. Shannon?
Well, you guys, it was only a matter of time before Rajay Davis would steal a base. That's his 6th of the season. And I actually talked to him about what we're calling the oven mitt that he wears on his left hand when he's stealing those bases. It's something he started doing when he was in Toronto a couple of years ago. And he said it makes him feel so much more confident when he has that mitt on, because he knows his fingers and his hand won't get all cut up when he's trying to dive in head first. So something he definitely doesn't want to go without in a game like this.
Comes in handy when you're stealing bases and pulling a casserole out of the oven.
Well, when you run as fast as Rajay runs, every now and then you're going to slide late. And if you do slide late into second base, if you don't have that mitt on your hand, you're going to jam your fingers into the bag. And that's why he has it on there. It protects him. It also prevents him from getting stepped on at first base when he's diving back on pickoff plays.
Hunter a chance to drive in a run. Tigers down 4-0. While Luke Peconin has been warming up, he'll be the next guy to enter this game. It's been a lengthy 3 innings for Smiley, 82 pitches in 3 innings. I don't think the Tigers want to go much beyond that in his first start of the year. A couple of 3-inning relief outings so far for Drew. Here's the 2-1. He floats another one up there at 70 miles an hour.
Torrey Hunter had a swing at that slow breaking ball like he knew it was coming. The scouting report on Weaver as when you're in fastball counts, he's not going to throw you a fastball because he doesn't have that much confidence in that fastball. And Torrey was all over that hanging breaking ball.
2-2. Time called as Weaver was about ready to bring it home, and Hunter was given time by Jerry Davis. Pulled foul just outside of the bag at third base.
And Comcast a high-speed pitch on Weaver here this evening. His top fastball has been 87 miles an hour. He's gone as low as 68 with that really slow curveball that he will spin off every now and then.
Drove into center field, sinking, base hit. Davis will score, and it's an RBI for Torrey Hunter, his team high 10th of the year.
Extra batting practice paid off for Torrey Hunter. Today he got himself a fastball that was up, and he didn't try to do too much with it. He just kind of fought this ball off in the straightaway center field, and Trout, even though he's very fast out there, he could not catch it. What Phantom Cam gives you just a great look at the overall technique of all these really great hitters on display here tonight.
10 RBIs now for Torrey, so the stolen base comes in handy. Here's Cabrera. One swing of the bat away from tightening this one up immensely. Miguel flied to right field his first time up. Angels have given up a lot of 2-out runs this year. That's their 38th run that they've given up with 2 outs of the 72 total. Weaver's 1-0. Miggy tried to hold up. They will appeal. Did not go. Phil Cuzzy down at first base.
Miggy is the only player in the major leagues that after there's a question on whether he may have swung or not, he will ask for the appeal himself. And before the home plate umpire even asked the first base guy down there.
Which is counterintuitive, because if the home plate umpire doesn't call it, you don't want anybody else looking at it.
No.
Drilled down the left field line. That's a foul ball.
He almost kept that high and tight fastball fair, and if we got a look of that in Phantom Cam, you'll see how Miguel really pulls his hands close to his body, and he almost kept that ball fair. Look, watch him pull the hands close to the body. He sees the ball getting inside. He gets the hands into an area in front of the body, which allows the barrel of the bat to get over the heart of the plate and hits that ball rather hard down the left field line, albeit foul.
Blocked by Iannetta. Now it's 3-1.
Tigers making Jared work a little harder in this inning than they had in the previous 2.
Here's Martinez waiting on deck. Fouled away. Full count now on Miguel. Tigers able to get on the board here with a 2-out RBI single by Torrey Hunter. Runner will go on the 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Walked him. Well, the Tigers now, as Rod mentioned, starting to work Weaver a little bit here. That's going to bring Mike Butcher out.
Mike Butcher has been the pitching coach, and for the Angels for the last 8 years, he replaced Bud Black. When Bud Black left Los Angeles to go to San Diego to manage the Padres.
So as they talk about that, we will tell you tomorrow MLB on Fox Sports 1 is back with doubleheader action as Mike Trout and the Angels take on the reigning AL MVP Miguel Cabrera and the Detroit Tigers. Then the Diamondbacks square off against the Dodgers. Action starts at 12:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Pretty good pitching matchup for Fox Sports 1. And you have C.J. Wilson going up against Max Scherzer.
Good one indeed.
Mickey's always got a smile on his face.
Here is Victor Martinez. Popped up his first time. And Weaver floats one outside.
Situation that Victor Martinez was talking to me about yesterday before batting practice. He says they like to employ the shift on him when there's no one on base, but when there's traffic on the base paths, they shade him a little bit to the pull field in the infield, but they don't play that same type of shift. He said he wishes they did. He'd take base hits to left field all day.
And I wonder why some clubs do it and some clubs don't. I guess some just pay more attention to some of these statistical analysis.
Yeah, there are a lot of clubs out there that are heavy on the data that is given to them, the information, as far as some of the tendency of some of the players. And then there are some old school that just pay a little bit of attention to it, but not nearly as much as some of your clubs like the Pirates. I mean, they're very heavy into the data.
Remember the days when playing someone to pull meant you moved over a couple of steps to your right or left?
Yeah. No such thing as guys playing in the outfield.
Nope. Third baseman now going into short right field to play. 2 balls, 1 strike on Victor Martinez. Lifted back out of play. 2-2 on Victor.
You're almost better off not even looking for a fastball from Jared, to be honest with you, because every fastball he throws, he either throws it up by design or just off the plate, outside or inside. He's really not throwing fastballs that you can handle. He's just showing you that pitch. He wants to get you out with his off-speed stuff. Therefore, until you get 2 strikes, you may as well not even look for that fastball, because he's going to give you something soft during the course of the at-bat.
It darts low. And count goes 3-2. So again, the Tigers now will have a chance to start the runners.
And I would not be surprised here if he decided to throw Victor Martinez another off-speed pitch.
Hunter and Cabrera on the bases. Crowd's starting to get into it a little bit now. Tigers have gotten 1 back for Drew Smyly. Now the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Well, what he throwing?
Change piece.
Another off-speed pitch. Inning over. However, the Tigers get a run on the RBI hit by Torrey Hunter. 4th inning coming up from Comerica Park. It's now 4-1 Angels.
Here is the Comerica Bank game summary. Drew Smyly making his first start of the regular season and had not pitched since April 9th. Did not have good command today. The Angels took advantage of that. They scored a couple of runs in the second, and then they had a big home run from Howie Kendrick in the third inning. They had a 4-0 lead before Torrey Hunter singled up the middle to drive in Rajai Davis, and that's where we sit right now. 4 Angels, 1 Detroit.
So Drew Smyly will be done for the evening. 3 innings, 6 hits. He threw 82 pitches before departing, 4 runs, a couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts. But as you mentioned, Rod, he hadn't pitched in a while, so you've got to take that into account. Wall side windows pitching change here is Luke Peconin.
Yeah, Peconin has only made 1 outing of this year for the Tigers, 2/3 of an inning against the Padres, and they'll be looking to get some length out of Pekonen here tonight. Fastball will get up to 95. He's got a splitter and also a slider.
John McDonald leads it off, and he looks at a strike. 0-1 on McDonald. Ian Stewart to follow, then Colin Cowgill. First of 3 this weekend between the Tigers and Angels. Angels have won 9 straight versus Detroit. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. McDonald flied out to left field his first time up. That's inside. 2-1. John McDonald now is playing with his 8th different major league team. Broken bat rolled toward third. Kelly Bobble still has time. Got it. Donnie didn't panic.
Since the beginning of the 2012 season, Kelly's made 27 starts over at third base, and he has not committed an error there.
Here's Ian Stewart. Tripled in a run back in the second. And he was a late addition to their lineup with Freeze out with a stiff back. So Stewart was inserted. He's playing third, and he triples in a run. Ball high. Drilled down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Bang up against the wall in right. He's going for his second extra base hit of the night. He has it. It's a 1-out double.
He buggy whipped that bad boy down into the right field corner. Some serious bat speed there shown by Ian Stewart.
Not even supposed to play tonight, and he's got himself a double and a triple.
A lot of times it happens that way. Guys that are sick, they don't feel good. They usually go out and have real good games. And if you're Stewart, you were just chilling during batting practice, kind of getting your work in. All of a sudden, right before the game, your manager tells you you're playing. And so you go out there and play. You really haven't watched the opposing starting pitcher all that much. Your mind's not all that cluttered. And guys go out and have really good games in these situations.
The old saying, less is more. Nothing to think about. Go out there and do it. Here's Cowgill. That's his 7th hit now for the Angels. Cowgill was showing bunt, and he had to duck out of the way. That ball was coming up at his helmet. Six of the 7 Angels hits in this game are for extra bases. They've got a home run. Howie Kendrick hit one. Here's the 1-0. 2-0 on Colin Cowgill. For a while there, we were wondering if Pekonen was ever going to pitch in a game. Made the team out of spring training, but it took a while for him to get his first big league outing this year.
With all the days off, there just was never a situation where Brad could get Pekonen into a game before he pitched on that last road trip.
Well, he came too far inside that time.
They got Cowgill and Avila.
They're both buckled.
Avila having one of them kind of nights tonight,
isn't he? He's taking some direct foul tips. Kevin Rand came out, but Avila appears to be okay.
Got Cowgill on the elbow, and then it looked like he got Avila on the bicep.
Two on for the Angels now with 1 out. Here's Mike Trout. 2-base hit back in the first and stole a bag. He was up there with 2 men on in the second, but Smiley struck him out. That sails low and away, 1-0.
Trout does not ground into many double plays. It's got to be an absolute rocket at one of the infielders if you're going to turn it over. And from that side of the batter's box that he is standing in right now, only a handful of guys might get down the line quicker than he does.
Trout this year has 20 hits, 11 of them for extra bases, including 5 home runs. And when you look at his career numbers with men in scoring position, 307. He's got 2 Angels aboard right now, Stewart and Cowgill. One and 2. Jared Weaver has allowed 1 run so far. Teammates staked him to a 4-0 lead, and the Tigers got to him on the RBI single by Hunter to make it 4-1. Yanked down the left field line. It appears to be trouble, and it is. It'll bounce up against the wall. This will get 2 runs in. Trout is on his way to second with yet another extra base hit this year. This is a 2-run double.
Trout has 2 doubles today. Both of those hits are coming on off-speed pitches. That was a breaking ball at 83 miles an hour thrown by Paconin. And for the second at bat today, he went down at the bottom of the strike zone and hit that ball off the left field gate. That's pretty much an identical swing to his first at bat today.
And so with 2 more runs in, it's now 6-1 in favor of the Angels. We bring up Albert Pujols, who is career a .404 hitter against Tigers pitching. And Albert had a double, scored a run his last time up. It'll get away from Avila. Well, Trout thought about it, didn't get a good jump, or a good read, I should say, so he held on at second base.
He has already stolen third base once in this game. He did that back in the first inning after doubling.
.273 now on the year for Albert Pujols. He's got 4 homers, 10 RBIs. Four homers away from 500, so that countdown has begun with the Angels. You said you were there for his first
home run.
It was off Armando Reynoso.
Armando Reynoso.
On April 4th of 2001. It was a chopper hit left side of the infield to Kelly. Trout has to hold.
Somebody tweeted that to me in spring training this year, and it was sound full. And Brenneman was doing the play-by-play, and of course after Pujols hit it, I had a few comments as well as to that's the first of many home runs for Albert Pujols, but I did not think he'd be knocking on the door of 500.
That's a pretty good premonition. Many indeed. Two gone now, and here is Howie Kendrick. Kendrick had himself a homer back in the third, opposite field. Back go Jackson and Hunter, and that ball is up against the wall. Trout will come in to score. It's going to be a double for Howie Kendrick. Another extra base hit for the Angels.
It's amazing how far Kendrick can hit the ball into that direction. And Mike Scioscia, their manager, going to come out and see if somehow, some way, that could be the second home run of the game for Howie Kendrick.
He's having a chat with Phil Cuzzy right now. It's a second ball. He's rocketed it out there.
You cannot request that. Ooh, that's a home run.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That's a homer. That's the second homer of the day for Howie Kendrick. I was saying that Howie Kendrick's got a lot of power in that direction, gap power, but usually doesn't hit a lot of home runs into the seats in right field.
It's a home run. No, you're right.
Of course, Mike Scioscia cannot request that the umpires review this call, but he can simply go out and say what he thought it was, and then it's up to the umpires whether they want to review it or not.
So don't write double RBI just yet. You might have to write in home run and 2 RBIs. I'm taking a look at it right now. The call on the field, a double. Regardless, it's going to be another extra base hit for this Angels offense that has pounded the baseball around the lot tonight. That last replay right there seemed to indicate home run. We'll see if that's what the judgment is.
And the umpires, they have the same looks that we have here at the ballpark in their command center in New York.
Umpires have 12 cameras available to them in New York.
Take them a little bit longer to make this decision, though.
Home run. So Kendrick will complete his trot. Mike Scioscia comes out with some success to get the home run for Howie Kendrick. Second home run of the game for Kendrick and a 4 RBI night. He is doing some work this evening. It's now 8-1 Angel.
Well, he's not the only one doing work. The Angels offense has been getting busy here tonight.
That is 8 extra base hits. 8 of the 9. Conan bounces one in to Chris Iannetta. Here's the 1-0 pitch. A little bit away. 2 balls, no strikes. And the catcher Iannetta. So Kendrick now has a total of 11 RBIs. That is in there. Checked it. Kendrick did not have a homer coming into the game today. He's picked up his first 2. Albert's like, dude, I'm about to hit my 500th. So, well, you feel pretty good tonight. Here's a walk. This has turned into an ugly game for the Tigers pitching staff.
And the Tigers really have not had an ugly game this year, but it's shaping up like that.
Here's Eric Ibar. This will be the 8th man to bat in the inning. Conan taking over for Smiley here in the 4th. Strike call. Oh, 2 now on Ibar. So with 2 home runs tonight, the Angels now have 26 long balls on the year, and at least in the early going in the American League, that is the top mark.
They have been flexing their muscles the first couple of weeks of the season.
Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. And Avila will apply the tag to finally end the inning. They send 8 men to the plate. Angels score 4 times. Howie Kendricks had himself a night. A pair of home runs, both to the opposite field, both 2-run shots. All Angels so far. So far for the Angels, they lead this one 8-1, and as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to be shown in our broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T, of course. Here is tonight's fan photo at BaseballCat15. That is Joanne Kamen. And congratulations, you are our AT&T fan photo of the night. Well, Tigers got some work to do now as Jared Weaver takes the hill in the 4th inning, leading by 7 big ones. Austin Jackson leads it off. It'll be Jackson, Kelly, Avila. Weaver spins up another breaking ball, hammered in the air to right field. It's going to stay in the park, though. Cowgill hauls it in, 1 gone. Weaver has struck out just 2 so far in this game tonight. He'll face Don Kelly here. .64 miles an hour. Just maybe I might be able to put the bat on that ball.
Oh, you could.
There's a strike call. High of 87, low of 64. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
That straight change is a really good pitch for him at 77 miles an hour. Same arm speed as the fastball and the curveball, and just kind of pulls the string on it.
Tigers' only run coming in the 3rd RBI single with 2 outs off the bat of Torrey Hunter. Davis had stolen a base and then scored on the hit. Avila waiting on deck. Fouled away again. .26 pitch 3rd after a couple of snappy innings for Weaver. Tigers able to make him work at least a little bit back in the 3rd frame. And another foul by Kelly, so he continues to peck away at Weaver. Jared Weaver a couple of years ago had a career high 20 wins. That was in the 2012 season. That led the American League. And he also threw a no-hitter that year against the Minnesota Twins. Two and two. Another foul by Kelly as he stays alive.
One of the best games that I've seen here at Comerica Park since I've been broadcasting games for the Tigers was that day when Jared Weaver and Justin Verlander locked up head-to-head a few years ago. What a great baseball game that was. Jared Verlander took a no-hitter late into that game.
Got him. Strike three. Kelly is caught looking too gone. You know what, I might go as far as to say it was the best game I've seen here at this ballpark.
I mean, there was some heroics. I mean, you had Carlos Guillen hitting that home run and basically just walking down the line, flipping his bat and looking at Weaver. Weaver was upset. Weaver threw the next pitch over the head of Avila. He was ejected in the game and he was fired up, and you really couldn't blame him because that home run that Guillen hit, as long as it took him to get around the bases, that was amazing.
Guillen flipped the bat and Weaver flipped his lid and then eventually threw one at Avila.
But Verlander was pitching a great game that day too.
That
was about the time when both guys were kind of going for the Cy Young. It was about the midway point in the season. Verlander just kind of took off from there.
Yeah, I would say that kind of that turned the tide toward JV that year. There's another floater that breaks in for a strike. 1-1 the count. Fierce competitor Jared Weaver. And mighty good pitcher. 6'7", 210 out of Northridge, California. Here's the 1-1. I mean, if you see a steady diet of this stuff, Rob, what does this do to your timing as a hitter?
Well, you would think as a hitter that you're down by 7 runs, he's going to give you a fastball or two, but that's the veteran that Weaver is. He continues to pitch his game here today. Lots of changeups, lots of breaking balls. He'll show you the fastball.
Pulled right into the shift. McDonald from the grass will throw him out. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Weaver. 4 in the books as we go to the 5th inning. Phantom Cam giving us some sights to the ball game tonight. Is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit, and by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Mario and Bemba, Rod Allen back here in downtown Detroit. Tigers taking on the Angels. All Angels tonight by a score of 8-1 so far. Chris Wazalewski is our producer tonight. Mark Stefano directing. And the Tigers, well, they've watched the Angels just pound the ball all over the ballpark tonight. See if they can stop it here in the 5th inning as J.B. Shuck leads it off, facing Luke Picconen. First pitch swinging. Nice play at first by Cabrera, who stabs it. And Picconen covers for the out.
Get the married men off the infield.
One away from McDonald.
Oh, my goodness.
That ball was hit pretty good,
wasn't it, though? They haven't missed many here tonight, though.
Bring up John McDonald. 0 for 2. Ground out, fly out for Mr. McDonald. Sixteenth season now in the major leagues. Been around with a couple of, well, a lot of different organizations, including the Tigers, as we mentioned earlier. Broke in with the Indians.
We put up his career offensive numbers earlier in the game, a .237 career hitter. But the reason why Johnny McDonald has been in the big leagues for as long as he has a tremendous glove.
Came into spring training as a non-roster invitee. The Angels took a long look at him during spring camp, and he made the club.
Well, when they decided to trade Andrew Romine to the Tigers, that kind of opened up a spot for John McDonald.
Now the bounce into the backstop it goes.
You can never have enough pitching, so they made a trade for Jose Alvarez. They got him from Detroit, of course. And then McDonald simply made the team, and he can play short, he can play third, he can play some second base as well as he's doing here tonight. Those are the same roles that Andrew Romine had last year for the Angels.
Here's the 2-1. Pop this one up. Shallow left field. Romine calling. Couple of quick outs for Picconen. Hey, by the way, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. So Picconen is in search of the first 1-2-3 inning tonight for the Tigers defensively. Howie Kendrick has had a huge night with a couple of homers. Here is Ian Stewart. Ball 1 to Stewart. Tripled to knock one in the second, doubled and scored in the fourth, halfway to the cycle, with arguably the toughest one out of the way, the triple. You ever come close to a cycle in the big leagues or minor leagues?
Never in the majors. Nope. And I'm trying to think if I did it in the minors. I mean, you would think that you would know whether you did it or not, but I had so many minor league at bats. You know, I know if I didn't do it, I know I got close on several occasions.
There's one way to keep warm.
Is that new spot out there?
I believe it is. Yeah, it's out there in right field.
We might have to go out there and hang with the people one night.
Well, I was thinking about that. You know, we could set up a monitor out there, just kind of chill on the couches. Call the game from there.
That's pretty cool.
That's a great view from the right field corner. Just popped up foul, back out of play. 2-2 on Ian Stewart. Should he reach Colin Cowgill, the top of the order waiting on deck. Angels got 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 4 in the fourth. You can always sit front row and watch the game. Just missed. Picconen took over in the fourth after Smiley went the first 3. Here's the 3-2. Popped up. It appears we'll get our first 1-2-3 inning for the Angels. Kelly. And it is indeed a 1-2-3 frame. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. One as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning here at the ballpark. Here's our upcoming schedule. It's brought to you by 1-800-HANSON's. The Angels, as you see, are here for 3 this weekend. Then the White Sox are coming in. And it's on the road. How about that next road trip? Minnesota, Chicago, KC.
Couple of off days on that road trip as well.
Surprising. Tigers have had a lot of off days. There's a strike on Andrew Romine. He'll begin things here in the bottom of the 5th. Romine, then Davis, and Kinsler facing Jared Weaver. That's popped up. Shortstop side, Ibar. Romine now 1 for 2, 1 gone. Going to bring up Rajay Davis. Really doesn't hurt to bring your blanket to the ballpark tonight. Temp's a little bit cool, but those couches out there are sweet.
Can they even see the game from the couch?
They're just having fun.
I'm guessing it doesn't matter. They are just having fun. Strike called on Rajay. Davis reaching on a fielder's choice, stealing a bag, and then scoring on the Hunter single. Slap back out of play, 0-2. Stolen base for Davis is his 6th of the year.
He's on a pretty good pace right now, should he continue to get a consistent playing time in left field.
Speaking of left field, we were talking to Kevin Rand, the Tigers head athletic trainer, before the game today, getting an update on Iglesias and Andy Dirks. Dirks, of course, had the back surgery. He was to split time with Davis in left. There's Kevin. He said they are progressing. Iglesias right now, all he can really do is a lot of cardio work.
Upper body work.
Right. Dirks has been in the pool a lot, doing his exercises. But it's still going to be a while for Andy. Roll toward third, just foul. Okay, you got the monitor out there so you can see the game. We got by inning here on Weaver.
I might get a little distracted out there as far as the game is concerned.
I don't know what you mean, Rod. 2-2 pitch is popped up. Again out in front of the breaking ball, and Stewart at third. 2 gone. He's going to bring up Kinsler. Just seems like Weaver's just methodically and slowly just carving through the Tigers lineup.
It's one of those days where you're watching Weaver, and obviously his reputation precedes itself. I mean, this guy's been a big-time winner in the big leagues. But the way that he's getting it done here tonight, he's not overpowering anybody, but he's just keeping everyone off balance. And you'll go home tonight with an 0 for 4. You'll be thinking to yourself, how did I go 0 for 4 tonight?
Kinsler looks at a strike.
I'm just change up at 77, breaking ball at 75, fastball at 84.
His top fastball tonight, 87. That's it. There's a drive to center and a base hit.
And he used to be a guy that pitched in the mid-90s.
Right.
And topped out at 97 just a couple of years ago.
2-out single for Kinsler. He's 1 for 3.
Back in 2010, 91 was the average fastball. The top fastball probably would get up to 95, 96, but that's the average range that we're showing there. Dipped down a little bit in 2011.
Hunter looks at a strike. Single to drive it a run back in the third for Torrey. A team high 10 RBIs now for Hunter.
Well, he'll occupy that spot until number 24 gets hot.
And then when that happens, look out.
He'll put up the same type of MVP numbers that he has, and really, since putting on the Tigers uniform.
Waiting on deck, Miguel Cabrera. There he is.
celebrating a birthday here tonight.
So he's going to have to hit a home run tonight. It's just that simple.
Well, you brought up the numbers earlier on his birthday. He usually has a great game.
Yeah, he's over 400 career on his birthday. Weaver again ahead of the hitter. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the 5th. That's in the air to left. Shuck had him shaded that way to left center, and that's all for the Tigers. 5 to the books here at the ballpark tonight.
In this contest, top half of the 6th inning, it's been all Angels, and Howie Kendricks had some kind of day. He homered earlier in the game. It was to right field. That was in the 3rd against Drew Smyly. And then he followed that up with another home run the opposite direction against Luke Peconin in this game. 4 RBIs, 2 home runs for their second baseman.
You had to look at the replay on that second one. It was originally called a double. Here is the game summary. 7 of the 9 hits for extra bases in this game for the Angels. Kendrick's big day, and Drew Smyly 82 pitches through 3 innings. Here's Colin Cowgill to lead it off against Luke Peconin, and he drills one to left field. That ball is going to get down and up against the wall. And we've got another extra base hit for these Angels. Man, they've been double happy tonight. Leadoff man is on, and for the Angels, that is 10 hits. Here's Mike Trout. Nine of the 10 hits are for extra bases. The only non-extra base hit is single by Ibar. It's been a good night for Trout tonight. 2 doubles, steal, 2 RBIs.
Another day at the office.
Conan had himself a 1-2-3 fifth. More trouble here in the 6th. Strike called. 0-2 on Trout.
Trout might have enough money now to move out on his own.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he's been living with his folks in the offseason.
He just signed that 6-year extension in late March. Miller's starting to warm up. He was called up today from AAA.
Yeah, Mike can go out and rent his own apartment now.
I feel like he'd buy his own apartment if he wanted.
Complex.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Not just the single room or the single building. Buy them all. Now Picone ready with a 1-2. Wouldn't chase the bender in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers Rod were probably thinking in the Miller call up, along with Tyler Collins needing some consistent at bats, they might need to go deep into the bullpen tonight with Smiley.
And the fact that they had to go into that bullpen the last couple of days against the Indians. After Verlander pitched 5 innings and Sanchez pitched 5 innings before Verlander.
So that extra arm will come in handy tonight, it appears. Meanwhile, 3-2 on Trout. Angels got 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and 4 in the fourth inning. They've had a 2-homer night from Howie Kendrick. And he walked it. He got ahead of Trout and ends up issuing a base on balls. Trout is aboard for the 3rd time tonight. We told you he'll take his walks. He had 110 of them last year. Here's Albert Pujols. Pujols recently had a 10-game hitting streak that came to an end on Tuesday night. That ball is hammered to left field. That ball is up and it is gone. A line drive home run into the bullpen, and the Angels just won't let up.
Albert Pujols is now 3 home runs shy of 500. His 5th home run of the season. And that was a laser. It got out of here in a hurry.
A 3-run shot for Pujols.
It's a fastball tailing in on Albert Pujols, and he hit that thing on the line, and it got out of the ballpark quickly.
Phantom cam showing you the swing of Albert Pujols. As picture perfect as it gets. And that is 10 extra base hits tonight for the Angels. Brad Ausmus out to make a change. The Pujols homer will bring Miller in. So it's a Wallside Windows pitching change. We'll be back.
Justin Miller now on the mound for the Tigers. It is 11-1 Angels up on the Tigers here, the 6th inning. This is Justin Miller's MLB debut. If the name is not familiar, the Tigers got him from the Texas organization. He was so excited to be coming up to Detroit to make his big league debut. He found out last night, made the call to his family in California. We were talking to him in the clubhouse before the game. He said, I think my grandparents and my dad are touching down right now. I did see them during the game. They are here and excited for it. An interesting little side note, Mario and Rod. He was telling the writers before the game today that 2 years ago to the day, April 18th, 2 years ago, he had Tommy John surgery. So what a story for him, making it back, and here he is in Detroit on the mound.
That is a great story. Thanks, Shannon. We'll see how Mr. Miller does here in his major league debut out of Bakersfield, California.
He was pitching well down in Toledo. Had not given up a run.
Well, his first major league pitch is a strike to Howie Kendrick, who has a pair of 2-run homers tonight.
He's got a fastball that will top out at about 94 miles an hour. Also a really good slider when he slows his body down and he allows his arm to catch up and get to the proper arm slot, which would give him some really nice tilt on the slider.
Here's the 0-1. A little bit high, left that one up. Justin Miller played his college ball at Bakersfield College and then on to Fresno State, where he was a member of the 2008 College World Series champs. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Howie Kendrick.
A breaking ball right there, but it stayed inside. A lot of times as a hitter, when you see the breaking ball, you're anticipating that it's going to be away from you, but that one stayed in on Kendrick and he could not pull the trigger. He's had no problem pulling the trigger in his other at-bats today.
Again, Kendrick going the other way, and he almost had his third hit of the game. Lining that one foul. 1-2. 3 runs in on the 3-run shot by Albert Pujols, his 497th big league homer. Bouncing ball left side. Kelly diving stop to his feet. Kendrick is out at first base. That's played by DK.
A couple of steps to his left. He stretches out. Like it took him a difficult time of getting up, but once he got up, he made a firm throw to Miguel, and Miguel, with that large body over there, able to stretch out and help Kelly out a little bit.
Bang, bang play. Here's Chris Iannetta. Tigers tonight have been out hit 11-3, and they trail 11-1. After a grueling 2-game series against the Indians, played a long game yesterday here at the ballpark. The Angels have come out swinging the bats in the start of this series. Ball inside. 2-0 the count on Iannetta. Miller, 26 years of age. Strike called. As Shannon mentioned, he missed all of 2012 with the surgery, and then last year split time between Frisco and Round Rock in the minor leagues with the Texas Rangers. He's an all-star a couple of years ago in Double-A. Rolled foul third base side. 2-2 on Iannetta. All smiles tonight for the Angels. Pulled right to third, and Kelly with a mini leap. 2 gone. So Miller has retired the first 2 big league hitters he has faced. Hey fans, see the Tigers battle the White Sox this Wednesday at 7:08. The first 10,000 fans receive a free DVD of Anibal Sanchez's 17 strikeout game, courtesy of Fox Sports Detroit. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Here's Eric Ibar. Little chopper back up the middle. Kinsler, tough play. Hook throw. Got him. Nicely done.
Nice, Ian.
Nice job by Miller as well. First big league inning. He got all three hitters.
I would think it would go just like that. 3 up, 3 down for Justin Miller, and I'm joined now by his dad, Todd, who made the trip from California. Can you take a deep breath now?
A little bit, yes. Been waiting for this for 22 years.
I know he was thrilled and a little surprised to get the call. What was that moment like for you hearing from him?
It's the call that every dad hopes he gets and dreams about. We were hoping it would come, with him having Tommy John surgery a couple years back and being removed from that, working hard, trying to come back with a new organization. Baseball's a funny game. You just never know. It's like I've always told him, if you go out there and work hard, good things will happen. And right now, I would say this is pretty good.
Well, great advice from a dad, and I'm sure you're very proud. Thanks so much for joining us. Mario and Rod, I'll send it back up to you.
All right, Shannon, thanks. And Rod, who was more nervous, Justin or his dad?
Dads are always nervous. Dads are always nervous.
10 times over. Congratulations to the Millers. Nice start for Justin. His dad on hand to watch it.
I mean, we want our kids to do so well all the time that I really couldn't watch my kids play that much.
Yeah.
I mean, the moms, they just kind of chill, and they're going to love the babies no matter what. They go 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, but they're still good.
The dad's
going to be like, let's go to the backyard, get off his teeth.
That ball's hit well to center field. Going to be run down, though, by Trout. 1 out. Yeah, there tend to be more dads at the backstop yelling and screaming than there are moms, that's for sure. 1 gone.
Take a look at this, Mario. And by the numbers, as of their 31st birthdays, Hank Aaron and Miguel Cabrera. Now, how crazy is this?
Whoa.
I mean, seriously.
No way. Is that a mistake?
As of their 31st birthdays, their numbers, average home runs, extra base hits, identical.
That's something else right there.
Identical.
By the way, feliz cumpleaños to Miguel Cabrera.
Oh, a little Espanol.
Yeah, practice that one all day. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Martinez looks at a strike. Victor pop-up strikeout in this game. 11-1 all Angels so far in this one here tonight. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. They've had 11 hits. Tigers have had just 3 against Jared Weaver.
And there's really has been nothing cheap about the 11 hits they've gotten today. Weaver, it's a huge swing taken by Victor Martinez, and Weaver mouthed, "Wow."
Almost came out of his shoes. Victor, that is. Here's the 1-2. Just a tad low and away. Martinez watched that one into the glove. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Austin Jackson waiting on deck. Here's the 2-2. It's skied in the air. Shallow left field.
A lot of pop-ups today by Tigers hitters. Weaver has had just about every last one of them out on that front foot, and they have not been able to keep the ball on the line. They've simply hit a lot of lazy fly balls tonight. Take a look at this distribution here.
Wow.
11 flyouts. Only 3 ground balls, 3 strikeouts for Jerry. And really the balls that the Tigers are hitting into the outfield, they're not hitting them very far and not hitting them very hard.
Weaver was one of those guys earlier in his career when he was throwing mid-90s would routinely put up a lot of strikeouts, many times going double digits in his starts. Jackson takes one low and away, 1-1. The only run Weaver has allowed tonight, RBI single in the 3rd by Torrey Hunter. That's it. Now 1-2. Breaking ball after breaking ball after breaking ball.
And there are some young pitchers that really need to take notice of what Weaver's doing here, because most guys, if you have a 10-run lead, you're just trying to pump fastball in there. You're trying to throw strikes. You're trying to get the game over with. Next thing you know, you've given up 4 or 5 runs. Weaver continuing to pitch his game, showing the Tigers the fastball out of the strike zone, and then simply going with either the changeup or the curveball and an occasional slider here today. Here's that curve.
Jackson would not bite. 3-2. Weaver broke into the big leagues with a bang. He began his career 9-0 back in 2006, which tied an American League record. And he walked him. 2 out base on balls. Well, tomorrow MLB on Fox Sports 1 is back with doubleheader action. Mike Trout and the Angels take on reigning AL MVP Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers. Then the Diamondbacks square off against the Dodgers. Action starts at 12:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, streaming live as well on Fox Sports Go. There's a strike call on Don Kelly.
Diamondbacks struggling out there, buddy. They are 4-14. They have lost 6 games in a row.
You mean the fighting Gibbies?
Yeah. They got no fight in them right now.
No. Doesn't appear to be. And a rough start out of the desert. 0-2 the count. Milwaukee off to a good start in the National League as they've won 11 games. Best team in the National League, the Dodgers, you think?
I think so.
Here's the 0-2. Popped up.
It's another fly ball or pop up.
Pujols will haul it in. And that's all for the Tigers. 6 in the books. Justin Miller retired all 3 that he faced in his big league debut. And his dad, Todd, well, his phone's blowing up. Did you see my boy?
Did you see me? Forget about the boy.
The Angels on top of the Tigers 11-1. 11 runs, 11 hits for the Angels. Tigers had but 3 hits, and you're talking about back-to-back MVPs and guys that have come close. Barry Bonds, Albert Pujols were 1 and 2. Saw Marison Mantle, and of course the last 2 years, Cabrera and Trout. Who will win this year? Those two certainly will be among the favorites.
Oh, they'll be in the conversation for sure.
Justin Miller back to the hill now as he faces J.B. Shuck in the 7th inning. Strike call with the breaking ball on the outer edge, 0-1.
Mike Trout is so respected in the game of baseball. He's going to be the leading vote getter this year for the All-Star game.
Think so?
Yep. No one's going to get more votes than him.
Shuck, McDonald, and Stewart in the 7th. The 0-1. Another breaking ball missed this time. J.B. Shuck in this game, fielder's choice to drive in a run. 0 for 3 in the game. That's in the air to center field. It's going to be Jackson cruising over. It's 4 straight retired by Miller after coming in for Luke Pecconin. And Justin was pitching well down at AAA, earning the call up. Four and 2/3 scoreless innings with the Mud Hens. John McDonald 0 for 3. Ball 1. Smiley started the game, but had to be taken out after 3 frames. He threw 82 pitches tonight. Gave way to Pecconin and then Miller. Down the middle of strike.
Yeah, this one really didn't have a good feel from the start. Smiley has been so good since putting on a Tigers uniform as a starter 2 years ago. Tremendous in that bullpen all year last year, back in the rotation, but making his first start here tonight on April 18th.
That's popped up. Middle of the infield, Kinsler coming in.
And you add in the fact that the Angels came in here a hot bunch, hitting lots of home runs, lots of extra base hits. You needed to be on top of your game if you were going to slow them down.
He'll be fine. I mean,
no doubt.
He just needs to get out there every 5th day and start a little bit of a routine. But Howie Kendrick has been on a tear tonight with a couple of 2-run homers. Here's Ian Stewart, and they'll employ the shift on Stewart. Ball 1. Triple and a double for Stewart tonight, plus an RBI. The season is still very young, but the 11 runs allowed tonight by the Tigers, a high for the campaign so far. Miller has retired all 5 that he has faced since entering the game back in the 6th. Here's the 2-0. Stewart had a hack 2-1. Here's his dad, Todd. Working the phones, it appears.
It's got to be a great feeling.
Fouled off at home plate.
That buckled Jerry Davis again. Yeah, between he and Avila here tonight, they've been getting beat up.
And Kevin Rand going to come out to take a look at him. Jerry's all right. Those catchers and those home plate umpires, they look out for each other.
They do.
They get dinged up. They will ask each other if they're okay, maybe waste a little time, dust off the plate, go out to the mound. Checked it. Did he go? Negative. When Walcott made the call down at third base. So it's 3-2 now on Ian Stewart. He's still working the phones.
That he is.
He'll check, take a look at his son between pitches, get back to the phone. Now the 3-2 on the ground and through. He found a hole and put it right through the shifted infield. That's their first runner against Miller.
How did Dad react to that one?
Oh. Here's Cowgill. 12th hit of the night for the Angels. Cowgill on base 3 times tonight, hit by pitch, double, walk. He's scored a couple of runs. Ball up and in. Angels out in the West came into play tonight. 3 games back, they were in 3rd place behind Oakland and Texas. Many still feel, even though Texas has been ravaged by injuries, that those are the 2 teams that are going to battle it out. But this Angels team certainly has enough offense. Breaking ball strike, 1-1.
Yeah, it's been a few years since the Angels have gotten to the postseason. After Socha's first few years, they were in the playoffs every year, it seemed like.
Yeah, they were perennials after winning the World Series in 2002. Here's the 1-1. Popped up. Back toward the seats. Avila will give it a peek. Raul Ibanez has moved to the on-deck circle. He's had himself a solid career. One and two now the count on Colin Cowgill. Checked it. Didn't go. Ibanez is 41 years old and McDonald is 39, so those 2 guys are pushing up the average age of the Angels roster.
Yes, they are.
But it's you know you're doing something right if you can stick around the big leagues that long. Ibanez has been a terrific hitter. Swing and a miss. Down he goes in the breaking ball. Nice job by Justin Miller. Big league debut tonight. He's done outstanding work. Coming up the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by the LaFontaine Automotive Group.
Weaver done after 6 innings here against the Detroit Tigers, and really just kept the Tigers off balance all evening long. He threw a few fastballs, even showed that pitch to the Tigers hitters. But take a look at all these swings and all the guys that are off balance on their front foots. And he did that with a mixture of changeups and breaking balls at 75 to 78 miles an hour. His top fastball probably about 85, 86 this evening, but yet he only gave up 1 run in the 6 innings that he pitched and gave up 3 hits.
Josh Wall is in now. He was called up today when Alvarez was sent down by the Angels.
His numbers at Salt Lake City this year, he pitched in 6 games, 8 1/3 innings, had a really good ERA, 7 strikeouts, 4 base on balls, has 13 career major league appearances. This would be number 14.
And we've got some changes as well. Colin Cowgill is now the center fielder, and former Tiger Brennan Bosch is patrolling right field. Raul Ibanez will take over for Albert Pujols at first base. Avila, Romine, Davis here in the bottom of the 7th, 11-1 in favor of the Angels. They've got the shift on again for Mr. Avila. Alex goes the other way and hits it fair into the corner. Take that. Avila will scoop to second base, and he has a double.
Alex got a fastball, caught it out in front, and created a nice bat angle, which allowed him to slice that ball down inside the chalk in that left field corner. By the time Shuck picks it up, Avila heads to second with a sliding double.
So the Tigers have their 4th hit of the game. Here's Andrew Romine. Ball 1 outside. Romine 1 for 2. Single and a pop-up. 2-0 the count. Josh Wall was born in Walker, Louisiana. He lives in Baton Rouge. They have a pretty good college football team down there.
They do.
The 2-0 is fouled back out of play. There's LSU Tigers. He was acquired off the waiver wire from Miami back in October by the Angels. Two-1 is high. 3 balls and 1 strike on Romine. Rajai Davis waiting on deck. A couple of years ago in the Dodgers system, Josh Wall had 28 saves at Albuquerque and played a little bit with the Dodgers each of the last 2 years. Not a whole lot of big league experience. He walked him. First 2 Tigers reach here in the 7th. Well, the Tigers face these Angels again tomorrow afternoon at 1:08. Great seats are still available. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. So far tonight, it has not been a happy birthday for Miguel Cabrera. Here's Rajai. Swing and a miss. You'll be making an appearance on that Fox Sports 1 telecast tomorrow, won't you?
I will be coming over here and spending a little time with Kenny Albert and Tom Verducci in the 3rd inning.
There's a strike right at the knees, and Davis says, I don't think so. Trout's day is over, trying to keep warm.
That's a good teammate. Your manager has given you the rest of the evening off to give you a little bit of rest.
Base hit to left field. Avila coming to 3rd. They're going to stop him there. Now the Tigers have him loaded.
Trout plays every single day, so that's why he and Pujols have been taken out of the game. But Trout, instead of sitting in the clubhouse where it's nice and warm, he is sitting on the bench rooting on his teammates.
So the Tigers offense showing a little bit of life here in the 7th as Ian Kinsler will stand in with the bases full. Kinsler is 1 for 3. Had a single in the 5th inning. Tigers have just picked up their 5th hit. Ball 1 low. 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Wall. Double by Vila, walk to Romine, single by Davis. Breaking ball, good one on the outer edge. Ian now has hit safely in his last 5 consecutive games, had 4 hits in that Cleveland series. Leads the team in runs scored and hits.
Hitting .455 with runners in scoring position coming into play today as well. So he's done a nice job in his first tour of duty in the Tigers uniform. Not trying to do too much, not trying to replace a Prince fielder, but just simply playing his game. It's a game of speed and defense and some clutch hitting.
Castellanos has moved to the on-deck circle. Here's the 2-1. On the edge, Kinsler disgustingly walks out of the box.
That ball was at least 4 inches off the plate, and it appeared to be low.
He'll shoot that one to right field, base hit. That'll get 2 runs in. Avila and Romine score, and Kinsler comes up with a 2-run single. And the Tigers get a couple of runs back. Pretty good night tonight for Ian. 2 hits, 2 RBIs.
It really was not a bad pitch by Wall. This ball is at the bottom of the zone, but with 2 strikes, Kinsler just kind of staying back and reaches out there, keeps the hands back, and slices something down the right field line for a base hit. Not a lot of movement there by Kinsler. That's why he was able to get to that pitch.
RBIs 9 and 10 for Kinsler, so he will take over, or at least tie Torrey Hunter for the team lead. In RBIs, Mike Butcher out to have a talk. And Wall has faced a total of 4 batters, has not gotten anybody out. There's Kevin Jepson warming up in the Angels bullpen. 6 for 12 now. These are updated numbers with runners in scoring position. So here's Castellanos. Nick gets his first at bat of the night. Pinch hitting for Torrey Hunter.
And he will stay in the game and play third base, and Don Kelly will move to the outfield.
Tigers have 3 runs on 6 hits now. They've scored 2 here in the 7th. Nobody out. Strike called on Castellanos, 0-2. Rolled foul. Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck. Tigers fell behind big early in this game. Angels have had a 2-homer night from Howie Kendrick. Albert Pujols has hit his 497th home run, a 3-run shot. In the air to left field, sinking. That's going to drop, base hit. Score another run. Kinsler all the way to third base. And Castellanos cruises into second. It's 11-4. And Wall still hasn't gotten anybody out.
And Wall was able to get ahead of Castellanos, but not able to put him away. It was a breaking ball that stayed up long enough for Castellanos to get to it. Good base running by Kinsler, challenging the arm of Shuck. He's able to get to third safely, which allowed Castellanos to trail him to get to second.
So Mike Scioscia is not going to allow Wall to continue. We've got a pitching change. 11-4 ball game. We'll be back. Well, it is April in the D, and how about this? The Detroit Red Wings have taken a 1-0 lead over the Boston Bruins. They scored with 40 seconds remaining and beat the Bruins 1-0. Pavel Datsyuk. How about that, Rod? They are up 1-0 now in the Bruins.
And no one really outside of Detroit has given them much of a chance to beat the Boston Bruins, but they're off to a nice start.
Well, here is Kevin Jepson now. He'll take over. Still nobody out in the Tigers' 7th inning. They have scored to tighten this one up a little bit. Bouncing ball hit to the shortstop. That'll get another run in. And Cabrera gets an RBI as Kinsler comes in to score.
Kevin Jepson is off to a pretty good start this year, 2014. He's got a big arm. His fastball will top out at 98 miles an hour, but his average velocity about 95. He'll also cut the fastball. He's got a curveball and a changeup. Doesn't throw his changeup all that often, and very seldom throws a changeup to a right-handed batter.
4-run inning now. It's 11-5. That's the first out they're able to record. Cabrera has his 7th RBI. Here's Victor Martinez. Ground ball right side. Nice stop there at second by McDonald. Throws him out. Won't score a run, but man, oh man, Johnny McDonald.
Well, we told you about John McDonald. That's one of the reasons why he is in the big leagues. That glove, he makes plays like that, like this on a nightly basis. He had more time than he thought. He takes the hit away from Victor, but then he throws from his back and just flips it accurately over to Raul Ibanez. He wasn't even looking at first base when he threw that ball. Nice tip of the cap for Victor Martinez to John McDonald.
Victor gets an RBI. It's 11-6. 2 gone now, and here is Austin Jackson, the 8th man at bat in the inning. Tigers now have 6 runs on 7 hits. Jackson 0 for 2. He did have a base on balls back in the 6th inning. One ball, 1 strike. We'll get back out of play. 1-2 on AJ. Weaver started this game. Gave way to Wall, who started the 7th inning, and well, he couldn't get an out. Faced 5 batters. Mike Scioscia had to take him out of the game as Phil Koch tunes it up now in the Detroit bullpen. Now Jepson ready with the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jepson appeared in 45 games last year with the Angels, 49 the year before that. Born in Anaheim, lives in Phoenix. Way outside, now 3-2. Should Jackson reach, Kelly waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2. And he walked him. So the Tigers are going to hit around here in the 7th. Mike Scioscia's taken Mike Trout out of the game. He has taken Albert Pujols out of the game. I'm sure he didn't expect this. The Tigers still down by 5, but it's certainly more manageable. Here's Don Kelly. Strikeout, pop up, walk. Strike called. Slap back out of play, and now Jepson quickly ahead. No balls, 2 strikes on Don Kelly. Tigers in this inning have had a double, a walk, a single. Single by Kinsler scored 2. Castellanos pinch hit single. A couple of ground balls have scored 2 more runs. Total that up to a 5-run 7th. And the guy who got it started with a double is on deck, Avila. Chopper toward third. Fair ball inside the bag. Jackson on his way to third, and he is in there standing up. Kelly slides in with a double. Well, the Tigers with a 7th inning uprising here. Things are getting a bit uncomfortable for the Angels.
It was the Angels, the first 4 innings of this game, that were hitting the ball all over the plate, but a breaking ball that hung up there very nicely for Don Kelly that he was able to hit down at that third baseline past the diving Stewart.
That is 8 Tigers hits now. Well, if they can cash in these 2 runs, it's a 3-run game. And it's still only the bottom of the 7th. At one time, it was 11-1. Here's Avila, who got the party started with a double. Ground ball right side. Straight to McDonald. Routine play there, and that'll end the inning. But it's a big inning for Detroit. They put up a 5 spot. We go to the 8th. It is tightened up a little bit.
Freaky fast delivery of the game. It happened in the 6th inning where 2 runners aboard, and up stepped Albert Pujols, first pitch swinging against Buchanan, and that home run got out of here in an absolute hurry. 497 career home runs now for Albert Pujols.
It's been quite a career. Don Kelly will move to right field, and Castellanos stays in the game to play third base. Tigers go back to the bullpen now, and they will bring Phil Koch in. This will be the 5th appearance from Mr. Koch. We'll try and hold it right here as the Tigers are showing some life late in this game. Smiley went the first 3, gave way to McConan. Justin Miller made his major league debut with 2 really good innings, and now Phil Koch. So Raul Ibanez will start things off for the Angels. Ibanez, then Bosch, and then Kendrick. Three homers this year and 12 RBIs for Ibanez. Although the average is low, they've got the shift on for him. His first at bat of the game. And Koch throws one up high, 1 ball and no strikes.
And Castellanos, he entered the game as the third baseman, but he's playing that rover position right now as we speak in shallow right field.
Mile high pop up. Short right field, Kinsler to the grass. Ibanez retired. 1 gone. Hey, fans, follow every Tigers game with MLB.com at bat. on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB TV game of the day, and a whole lot more. Download at the App Store or visit Tigers.com today. So here's the former Tiger, Brennan Bosch. Hit 273, make it 275 last season, 23 games. Takes a big hack, fouls it back. Bosch with the Yankees last year for 23 games.
He was invited to spring training with the Angels this year as a non-roster player. He was sent down to the minor leagues, but finds himself back in the big leagues 2 weeks into the season. Had 3 home runs down in Salt Lake, their AAA affiliate.
Bosch got to the big leagues for the Tigers in 2010.
He came on the scene with a bang, too, didn't he?
He sure did. Many thought he might make the All-Star team, even though he got to the big leagues about a month into the season. Coke will retire and 2 gone.
Britton wearing double zeros these days.
There's got to be a story behind that. Here's Howie Kendrick. So Phil Coke in search of a 1-2-3 frame. Big night for Kendrick. First 2 home runs of the season for Howie. Both of them over the right field wall. Chopper toward third. That's going to go foul. 1-2-3 frame would be nice for Phil Coke. Phil pitched 2/3 against the Indians.
He gave up a couple of hits, but did not give up a run.
Kendrick waiting on the 0-1. 11-6. Angels have the lead in the 8th. Bouncing ball left side, deep in the hole. Romine can't get it.
Have a day, Howie.
Third hit today for Kendrick. And the Angels have their 13th hit of the evening. Here's Chris Iannetta. On base 3 times in this game, double 2 walks. Big swing there by Iannetta.
Good changeup there thrown by Phil. Iannetta sitting on the fastball, and Phil Coke throws a changeup located beautifully at the bottom of the strike zone at 82 miles an hour.
Make it 0-2.
Doubled up on the changeup. He wouldn't throw him 3 in a row, would he?
Let's find out.
It'd be nice to throw an elevated fastball, then go back downstairs with the changeup. Let's see what Avila wants. Breaking ball.
Here it is. One and 2. Angels have had a couple of big innings in this game. A 4-run 4th, a 3-run 6th. They've hit 3 homers in the contest. Here's the 1-2. Pulled foul just outside of the bag at third base. Good pick up there. Always pays to bring the glove to the ballpark if you're sitting in row one. It's much easier to lean over and scoop up a souvenir. And again, the 1-2 from Phil Cope. Oh, he's got him picked off. Kendrick on his way to second. They'll apply the tag, and the inning is over. So Cope faces only 3 batters. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th here at Comerica Park. Here's the Call Sam call of the game, and that call was bringing Justin Miller into this game.
Did a very nice job in making his major league debut with his family in attendance, and got the Angels out 1-2-3. Real nice start for Justin Miller.
Dad Todd.
I guess Pops made the call.
I don't think he called him in, but he made some phone calls.
The power of television.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
What a night for Justin's dad, Todd.
Proud Papa tonight.
Got a new pitcher now for the Angels as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Michael Kahn will take over.
And Kahn is pitching in his 9th game, 7 2/3 innings, a 2.35 ERA, 11 strikeouts, and just 5 walks for Kahn.
So the Tigers got the bats going in the 7th. We'll see if they can do it again here in the 8th as Andrew Romine leads it off. Single and a walk tonight for Romine.
Yeah, another big arm out of that bullpen for the Halos. 97 top fastball for Kahn. A slider and a changeup.
Hails from Camden, South Carolina. Off the end of the bat, slowly toward third. Gobbled up there by Stewart. One gone. A whole lot of crooked numbers on the line score tonight and the box score. For the Tigers, at least showed some life last half inning. Kinsler's had a nice night, couple of hits. Bottom part of the lineup, each has gotten on at least once.
Rajai Davis hitting 9 of his last 10 games.
Speaking of, Rajai looks at a strike. Davis single pop up. Fielder's choice. He's also swiped a bag and scored 2. Kahn reaches back and throws high and away.
And Davis and Kinsler have been as good as advertised in the first couple of weeks of the year. A couple of real nice table setters, both guys stealing bases, both guys getting on base and scoring runs.
Which is precisely why the Tigers acquired both of them.
No doubt. They are doing exactly what Detroit thought they would do.
Two and one.
Tigers just have not gotten going as a club yet. Miggy hasn't gotten going yet. Torrey hasn't gotten hot. And Victor hasn't gotten hot.
Evan Reed warming up in the Detroit bullpen.
Once they start to click on all cylinders, it's going to be even more of an asset to have guys like Kinsler and also Davis in the starting lineup.
Three one is in there. 3-2 now on Davis. He's trying to get on base here. Taking that 3-1 pitch. Kahn had Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago, 2012.
There are so many pitchers in the big leagues these days that have had Tommy John surgery and are still having very good big league careers.
Yeah, the list seems to be getting larger and larger every season.
And this year, for the first time, we've heard of several guys having that operation twice. The list is extensive.
Tigers' own Bruce Rondon has had the Tommy John surgery. Here's Kinsler down with 2 outs. Ian singled in a couple of runs in his last at bat, 2 out of 4. That'll get back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Here's that list of all the players that have undergone the Tommy John surgery. Some really good pitchers too. Matt Moore, Matt Harvey, Chris Medlin, Beachy, Parker, Corbin, Bruce Rondon, of course.
That Matt Moore loss is going to be a big one, I think, for Tampa.
Luke Hochhaver, that loss is big too in that Kansas City Royals bullpen. That bullpen not as good as it was last year in Kansas City.
Castellanos on deck. Tigers trying to get something started with 2 outs here in the 8th. Kinsler hammers one to left. Another hit. Ian's got himself a 3-hit night.
Ian just has a really quiet approach right now. He's not moving a lot of his body parts. He simply recognizes the ball in the strike zone, and with very little movement, you can simply draw a line right down the center of his body here.
Gets that front foot down and just drives the ball to left field. Castellanos hammers one foul. Back out of play. So the Tigers now have 9 hits. Nick had a single to drive in a run in the 7th. Tigers will still have the meat of their lineup coming up at least one more time in this game. That's in the air to shallow right. Bosch under it to retire the side. 8 in the books at Comerica Park. 6 in favor of the Angels, hanging out in the Champions Club. Some of the Tigers fans still are tonight, enjoying the good food. Meanwhile, Evan Reed will take over onto the Detroit bullpen.
Evan has done nice work in the 4 games he's been in this year. No blemish as far as the ERA is concerned. He has 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. He has a big fastball that gets up to 97. He has a slider as well and a changeup that he will throw on occasion.
Chris Iannetta will start things off for the Angels. 11 runs, 13 hits for Los Angeles. The Tigers 6 runs, 9 hits. Iannetta, Ibar, and Shuck here in the Angels' ninth. So Reed takes over for Phil Koch, who pitched the 8th. And Reed delivers ball 1. Jared Weaver, Drew Smiley, the pitchers of record in this game. Here's the 1-0. Bouncing ball left side. Castellanos backs up. 1 gone. Here's Eric Ibar. .196 for Ibar. He had a single in his first at bat, then he lined into a double play in his second at bat. Strikeout, ground out as well. Reed fires home fastball from Evan, goes 95 miles an hour but misses. Here's the 1-0. Left the strike zone that time. Again, trying to chase 95 heat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Max Scherzer will be on the mound tomorrow for the Tigers in the Saturday afternoon game, facing C.J. Wilson. Porcello Santiago on Sunday. Then a 4-gamer against the Chicago White Sox. Strike called. That last one to 96 from Reed.
Located beautifully on the outside black. Can't locate it any better than where Evan threw that last fastball.
Here's the 2-2 coming up. Breaking ball is chopped foul.
Is this the first year for Gary DeSarcina as their third base coach?
It is.
He had a really nice career in an Angels uniform. About 11 years in the big leagues for the Angels.
Actually, let's see, 12 seasons. His last year was 2000.
Had 12 of them?
12 big league seasons. That's popped up. Shallow right field, and Kinsler goes back. And Reed has retired a couple of batters. 2 up, 2 down. Here's J.B. Shuck. RBI for Shuck, otherwise 0 for 4. Pulls that one on the ground to first base. Reed covers for the out. 1-2-3 inning for Evan Reed, and we will go to the bottom of the ninth. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. Wellside Windows, the official window company of Fox Sports Detroit. And by Mitsubishi Motors. Mitsubishi Motors invites you to find your own lane. Well, the Tigers down to the final 3 outs. Now it's 11-6 in favor of the Angels. And let's check in with Shannon Hogan with a preview of Tigers Live tonight. Shannon?
Yeah, Tigers Live right after the game. And you have to respect the rally cap down here. The diehard fans seeing this one through. Right after the game, Mickey York is hosting. I'll be heading into the Tigers clubhouse to talk with Brad Ausmus and some of the guys. And probably Justin Miller, hopefully some comments on his MLB debut. It's on Tigers Live right after this one, guys. All
right, Shannon, thank you. Look forward to it. In the meantime, the Angels go back to the bullpen. Ernesto Frieri will check in.
He's their closer, off to a sluggish start this year. 1 save. He's blown 1 as well. ERA approaching 6 for Frieri. Got a good arm. 97 top fastball, pitches right around 94. Also throws 1 breaking ball, which would be the slider, and a changeup.
Cabrera, Martinez, Jackson to face him here in the 9th inning. Fastball missing away, and the count goes 2-0. Ernesto Frieri. Missed again. 3-0 the count. Martinez on deck. Frieri last year 37 saves for Los Angeles. Miggy takes on 3-0 and it's on the outer edge. Eleven runs, 13 hits tonight for the Angels. Tigers had 6 runs, 9 hits. Here's the 3-1. Ooh, Miggy had a rip there to fastball right at the belt. 3-2. Biggest inning of the game for the Tigers, a 5-run 7th. At one point they were trailing 11-1. Got him on the outer edge. He painted the corner at 94 miles an hour, and Cabrera doesn't like the call.
Every pitch that Frieri threw to Miguel Cabrera was on the outside part of the plate. The last one, a fastball at 94 that Jerry Davis said was close enough to call a strike.
One gone here in the 9th. That'll bring up Victor Martinez. Frieri came to the Angels from the San Diego Padres organization. RBI ground out for Victor in his last at bat. Tough night for Miggy on his birthday. He did walk and has an RBI tonight, but hitless. Way outside. 2-0. A couple of off-speed pitches to Martinez starts him up, but 2 balls, no strikes. Jackson waiting on deck.
It's the same thing that he did to Miguel Cabrera before coming back to strike out Miguel, falling behind him And 3 balls and no strikes.
10 pitchers used tonight between the 2 ball clubs. And the 3-0. There's a fastball right down the middle.
And Tigers knew they were going to have to dip into their bullpen this evening with Smiley making his very first start of the 2014 season. After 2 relief appearances, he was not stretched out very far to stay in this game very long.
Line to right field, base hit. Victor is on with a 1-out single. His first hit of the game. Here's the upcoming matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet. Game 2 in the series tomorrow, featuring a couple of pretty good pitchers.
And C.J. Wilson off to a pretty good start. He's won a couple of games already, lost 1. The ERA is under 4. And he's racking up quite a few strikeouts. Max Scherzer, of course, he is quite the strikeout artist himself. He has no wins and 1 loss, but an ERA sub 3.
Victor in Phantom Cam.
I don't think I've seen a bad swing in Phantom Cam.
I haven't either. They all look pretty. There's a strike on Jackson.
Phantom Cam make us look good.
Well, speak for yourself. 2 walks for AJ tonight. He's also flying out a couple of times. Lines one to right field. That's a base hit. And Martinez will go to second, and Jackson has a hit. So the Angels' pen really scuffling tonight after being staked to an 11-1 lead.
We see this time and time again where managers will go to their closers because they might need a little bit of work in games that are somewhat lopsided and it's not a safe situation. And that closers struggle out there.
Here's Don Kelly after back-to-back hits. Kelly with a double and a walk. So the Tigers now have 11 hits in this game. Ball 1. Well, the Angels might have felt comfortable when it was 11-1, but right now they'd be getting a little bit skittish. Still a 5-run game, but the Tigers have 2 on. Low, and Frieri again falls behind a Tigers hitter. 2-1.
Well, he's fallen behind every hitter he has faced in this inning.
So there's the breakdown on Frieri. 8-8. Missed again. 3-1. Angel bullpen this year, 4.66 earned run average. If you're keeping track at home, this will be the 338th pitch thrown tonight in this game.
That's all.
That's it. Snappy game. There's a strike. 3-2. Full count now on Don Kelly. 2 on and 1 out. Slow floater back towards second, going to drop. They'll tag the bag 1. Now get Martinez caught in a rundown. And that's going to do it.
John McDonald is such a heads-up player that he ends the game with that kind of a double play. Remarkable.
It was kind of odd, but it got the job done. So the Angels walk into Comerica 11-6 your final. We'll be back with more from the ballpark.